I was driving along the Paseo Maritimo yesterday and saw lots of action going on, so I thought I'd take a walk along the Paseo Maritimo. It's Tuesday. It's unusual that I'm out on a Tuesday. It's a public holiday today, so everyone's hopefully taking the opportunity to have a little rest from work, and I'm just going to have a little walk along the Paseo and see what's going on. One of the main reasons for walking along the Paseo is to have a look at the boats, have a look at the sea, and it's a nice place to come and do some exercise. But yesterday, as I was driving along, there seemed to be a lot of action. There was I don't know, a lot of vans, all identical vans, all numbered, like the taxis are numbered, and they were all parked up. And as I went past them, I noticed in the middle there was a lot of people seemingly having their lunch. They've got protective screens, so something was obviously going on. And then when I looked in the newspaper later on, it was because they were filming The Crown. So Netflix series The Crown has come to Mallorca, and they're filming several scenes here, several parts of it here. And this one was down in Club de Mar, which is just behind us where the boats are. And part of it was supposed to be representing some of the Greek islands. Some of the scenery around Mallorca is very similar to the Greek islands, so it could easily be mistaken. And also to depict when Charles and Diana came here years ago for a holiday. They're going to go to different parts of the island, so down into Puerto Soller and around the Sacalobra area, and possibly elsewhere as well. Mallorca's really become quite a place for films, and in recent years, well, actually dating back a long time now, films have been made here, but in recent years companies like Netflix have really taken to the island, and lots of their films have been shot here, or at least part of them have been shot here. I was watching one the other night and was thinking, I recognise that, and it was a scene up in Dea, up in the Tramontana, in the mountains. So the mountains look familiar, but then they were actually in some of the buildings that I've actually visited in the past. So yeah, Mallorca very much on the movie scene now. The reason I was actually driving along the Paseo Maritimo was I was on my way to Fan, which is a shopping centre, not to go shopping, but because my car was running a little bit low on diesel. And unlike the UK, there's only Fan that actually is a shopping centre which has a filling station attached to it. Where I come from in Stoke-on-Trent, just about every supermarket, big supermarket, has got a filling station. It's usually where you'll buy your cheapest fuel. And that's true here on the mainland too, but in Mallorca it's only Carrefour and the Fan shopping centre that's taken that. And their price is actually very similar to everywhere else. What they do is they give you 8% back, and they'll send you that every, I think it's 3 months, in a cheque. So Anita receives a cheque which you can go and spend in Carrefour, and it's a place we do our shopping, so it's quite handy. So I filled up yesterday. It cost me, I think, 66 euros, and I got over 5 euros added to my cheque account with Carrefour, and it mounts up over 3 months, and Anita usually goes and spends it on wine. So someone was asking me how much do we actually pay. Well, the top line price, this is diesel that I put into my car, and that was 143.9, 144, and with the 8% off, it's the equivalent of 132. That's €1.32 for a litre Not sure how that compares with UK prices. Petrol here is more expensive than diesel, so we're talking about 150 something for petrol, and that has shot up during the early stages of the pandemic when there was no demand whatsoever, and it went down to about €1, just over €1, and in some places just less than €1 for a litre for both petrol and diesel. So it has really shot up. But the question that was asked to me, what are our energy costs like over here? And just like the UK, there's a lot in the news about energy costs and how it's soaring, and almost daily here we're hearing about price rises as far as energy is concerned. So we're getting exactly the same news. I just think it's a little bit different here in terms of how much energy we actually use. In the summer months, people will perhaps use a lot of energy because of air conditioning. We come to September and October, we've got this wonderful climate now where we don't need heating and we don't need cooling. And so I've just had my electricity bill in, which for 1 month is €66. And apparently this month, equivalent month last year, it was about €70. So year on year, it's more or less exactly the same. But we don't really change very much. And that's an electricity bill. The gas, well, we still use bottled gas. We buy our bottled gas, which is butane, similar to the Calagas bottles that you might have if you go caravanning in the UK, the bigger ones, and they cost about €16 now. Price is reviewed roughly every month, so towards the end of the month they'll review, and they've consistently over the last few months gone up. So we were paying €13 for one of these 13 kilos, is that right? 13.5 kilos, one of those bottles, and that's gone up to 16, just over €16, which a bottle for us, we use it for heating and cooking. There's no heating at the moment, so it's only really for getting the water hot and for cooking, and a bottle like that will keep us going maybe for a couple of months. So it really is a very small cost for a couple of months. During the winter time, when we're actually using it to heat the house, then we might use a bottle every week or two. I think a little bit more than a week, maybe every 2 weeks. And then if it gets a bit mild, we won't use them at all. So we don't really have a lot of heating costs. Problem's more cooling in the summer. Sort of July and August, it gets really hot, and air conditioning consumes a lot of electricity. But I don't know, I do hear stories, particularly when I read through Facebook, of people who've got ginormous bills. I wonder what they're doing. The only thing I can think is they're running their heating or cooling constantly, and that must be really expensive. Just having a little wander around Paseo Maritimo. It's actually quite quiet. It's 11 o'clock, it's Tuesday the 12th, and it's Spain Day. It's the national day for Spain, so this is a national holiday all over the country. And my guess is if I walked into the town in Palma, pretty much most things other than touristy type things will be closed. You might find 1 or 2 bars open. Restaurants will be open later on, but a lot of shops will be closed. Most of the shops will be closed, and all the businesses will mostly be closed. Anything official, of course, will be closed. I have 2 channels on YouTube with more or less the same name, but one of them I put the 360 videos up, and I had a comment this morning from Tommy who was saying you can't get over how much more detail you can see with the 360 videos, and I know some people do have issues watching them, but you can see so much more. So at the moment I'm pointing the camera along the walkway, but if you're looking on the 360 view, you can just change where you look, and you can look this way, or you can look this way, you can look up, or you can look down, and it just gives you a totally different view. So if you haven't tried the 360, hop over to, I've called it 360 VR. VR stands for virtual reality, and have a look. I watched one of them this morning on my TV, so now I've got a big screen. You can use the remote control to have a look at the different scenes. So use the arrow control and you move it left and right, up and down, and just gives you a totally different view. If you're on a phone and you make it full screen, just actually physically moving the phone will allow you to look around, or you just swipe across with your finger. Or if you're using a computer or an iPad, then again just swiping across with your finger with a mouse will allow you to see different parts. It really is something quite different. When I was back in the UK with my family there, my daughter's got the Oculus eyes goggles you put on. It's like putting a face mask on to go swimming, but you connect that to one of these 360 videos, and that's really something else. This is where the virtual reality part comes in, because you just move your head and you actually move around the scene. And it was quite different. You stand up, but because I'm walking, you're actually walking, so it is a strange sensation, and I can appreciate that some people do get dizzy with that. But at one part I was standing on a bridge, and I must have held the camera just over the side of the bridge, and with these glasses on I looked down. It was actually quite frightening. I was looking straight down quite a distance to the water below me. If you get an opportunity to try virtual reality, I think you should have a go. See if you do like it. A friend of mine who's Derek in the UK, he's bought himself a set. He's in his 90s now, and I do hope he's watching some of the virtual reality videos that I'm putting up there, because he used to live here in Mallorca, now lives in Shropshire, but he uses it to look around different things on the internet, and there are some amazing sites. So you don't have to watch all of my videos, you can watch somebody else's as well. And that's the magic of this. I do see that perhaps in the future it'll be a way people will make films. It's quite exciting. I have got a television that does 3D, and I think maybe when we first bought it, we put the 3D glasses on and watched something and went ooh and ah and did all of that sort of thing, and then put the glasses in the box and put the box in the cupboard. And I did come across them the other day, but I have no incentive at all to use them. The virtual reality, the 360, is quite different. I'm coming up to a bar, it's open, and here's a little riverbed here, and sometimes there's water here, sometimes there's not. Today pretty much there's not, so I can actually, instead of taking the stepping stones over there. I can actually walk where the sea should be. That's not due to the tide, or maybe a little bit. Obviously very, very slippy down there. Seems to be alright. It's actually going at a fair lick. And if you're watching on the 360, you get the full view of that one. Coming up behind me quite quickly. Decided to go through the water, but mustn't have had it just quite right. Slipped. He seems to be alright. He got up very quickly, and I think his pride maybe hurt more than anything else. So yes, the level of the water here isn't very much affected by the moon tides because Mediterranean's closed. There will be a slight tide, but it's hardly noticeable. More affected by wind or air pressure. And just on this part, we've got the smaller boats. If you can see the one there, the first one. So it's quite a small one. That's a very typical Mallorquin boat. They're called Lout. And there's just recently been a fair in Mayor where they've been promoting energy conservation. So they've had things like electric cars. They've also had an electric Lout. So these are smaller boats, and we're just coming up. This is one here. Thought that was one, but I'm not so sure now. They have a mast at the front and a mast at the back, a short mast at the back, and the Mallorquins will use them as a pleasure vehicle, pleasure craft, or they'll use them to go fishing. One just coming up. This one's actually got a similar to this. Usually painted white. Too. Yeah, that's more like it. Getting some more over here. A tall mast at the front, a short stubby mast at the back, and a pole joining them. You can put your sunshade. Someone else was asking about the temperatures, what's it like. In the daytime it's beautiful, mid-20s, what I would consider to be a perfect sort of temperature. You can go for a walk, you can sit outside comfortably, you can sunbathe if that's your thing. Here's a proper out, see, this is more like it. But in the evening it does go cool. In fact, I can't believe it, but I read on my computer yesterday it was 9 degrees, but more likely night time getting down to about 14 or 15 degrees. It's the sort of boat I'm not talking about. There's an electric version of that. Lots of fish here in the water. Not sure how well they come out on the video. Lots of little fish. And I'm coming towards the end now. A few little steps. So yes, if you are coming to Mallorca in the next few weeks, then yeah, pack a jumper. You might need it if you're just wandering out in the evening, stopping at a bar, and you would like to sit outside rather than inside. All the restrictions seem to be gradually going now. Just looking back over there, that's Belvedere Castle in the distance. So, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't looked at the 360 videos yet, then you should go and have a look at those. They give you a little dimension that you won't see in the normal two-dimensional videos. The 360s give you something a little bit more. Thanks very much for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. So bye for now.